EA is a very interesting company in my opinion. It's almost like they embrace the bad guy role in the gaming industry. Like, they'll have something perfectly fine, something good going for them for once in their goddamn lives. And then it's almost as if they say, you know what? Nah, we're just going to ruin it overnight. Battlefield 1 was actually a pretty decent game, and people were praising EA for their work on that game. It looked amazing with the Frostbite engine, and it played pretty nicely. It was a stray from the usual Modern Warfare type of deal with the original Battlefield games, but it was a nice change, and it worked out pretty well. But ever since then, it's felt like EA is just honestly fallen off a cliff again, to no one's surprise. I mean, they've just gone in a bunch of controversies, along with releasing a bunch of just absolutely horrific games. Shall we say, industry classics, if you will. Now, EA, to me, it's interesting, right? I could go on about how bad EA has been, with their game releases and basically the respect for their consumers, honestly, because that has to be called into question as well, whether or not they actually respect the people that are buying their games. Just overall, I get the feeling that EA has honestly just lost respect for their fan base, and I can't even really blame them, honestly. They're constantly getting bashed, but I mean, it's well-deserved criticism. I mean, it feels like every day EA is getting bashed for something, but I mean, it's not like it's something that's like what is it, a nitpick, you could say? Well, maybe it is a little bit nitpicking, but most of the stuff that EA gets bashed for, it's justified. I mean, there was the I think it was 2 weeks after release of UFC 4, they started placing ads in the game before each match, and then with FIFA. This mostly happens with their sports titles, by the way, but with FIFA, they were basically advertising card packs in a children's magazine. I'm going to keep this in the EA Sports section, because I feel we need to talk about EA Sports, right? EA, we can go on for days about how bad, just in general, EA as a publisher has been with their games and their acquired developers, but we're going to stick to EA Sports for now. So, me personally, I'm of the belief that EA just simply doesn't know how to make sports games. Or rather, they can't, for that matter. Now, I know that's a stupid statement because, well, they've made a bunch of sports games. They haven't been particularly good. They've lacked innovation at times, creativity, and it honestly feels like they've just completely ignored some of their communities when it comes to these games. But what I mean by this is, okay, let's take it back, right? NBA Live. They've had a pretty rough going with NBA Live. For starters, ever since NBA 2K came in and just NBA 2K has just been cleaning house in the basketball category. I mean, the NBA games, and if it's between NBA Live and NBA 2K, ain't nobody going NBA Live like ever. It's just not even a contest anymore. And honestly, I'm pretty sure it's dead. NBA Live. They haven't had a release since 2018. And the only thing they got going for them is NBA Live Mobile, but of course they got that going for them. It's just a pack simulator. Like, it's EA. Of course they're gonna specialize in that, but regardless. So NBA Live, right, died basically because the competition was way too stiff. And they couldn't adapt properly and keep up with what 2K was doing. The thing that irks me the most is that they both had yearly releases, right? So they both had enough time, or the same amount of time, rather, pretty much, to get their games out. Yet for some reason, every year, NBA 2K just outperformed NBA Live substantially each year. It's weird to me, because the two companies, despite having very similar release windows, seem to be performing very differently from each other. NBA 2K, constantly innovating on their games, with new features and modes that basically just blow all of NBA Live's modes out of the water. Now, I'll give it credit where credit's due. NBA Live had some of its own modes, but at the end of the day, they just weren't as good as 2K's, right? And also, we gotta talk about, the core gameplay being trash, them using the Ignite engine constantly, even though that engine was, made in 2006, so it was way out of date. So, NBA 2K killed NBA Live, right? It's dead now. It's dead. They tried to make a comeback with NBA Live 18 and 19, and now it's just gone into, it's done. It's done. So why am I saying that EA can't make sports games? I don't really think I should phrase it like that. I think I should phrase it as they can't beat any competition when it comes to sports games. Recently, 2K has come out, or not recently. I don't think it was a while back, but they come out saying that they're getting back into football. NFL has signed a contract with them, so they're allowed to use all the current players, but they're doing it. They're doing an arcade football experience, which is really it's gonna really be honestly quite different from what Madden does with their simulation football realism and all that. If I'm EA, I'm sweating right now. I'm panicking because if I made a list, if I had to make a list and rank all their sports titles from bottom to top, just based on polish, sort of player reception, basically which games have their shit together the most. Last is NBA Live, because they, again, haven't seen a release since 2018. Second last is, it's got to be Madden NFL. Madden NFL has seen better days, let's just say. This might be one of the worst, if not the worst, Madden NFL game EA has released. Just ever. Madden NFL 21. Worst user-reviewed game of all time. We can't go by just the user reviews, because some people just hate on EA for the sake of hating on EA. But if you just look at the regular critics, like the critic reviews, it's only a 69. It's nothing to write home about. 2K Games, the guys that put the goddamn franchise, their NBA franchise, in the dirt, killed it, are now coming for their NFL franchise. These are two of the biggest sports titles. Like, just in honestly, if it's over for EA. EA Sports is done. If they lose NFL, it's over. Like, it's game. NHL, who cares? UFC, okay, I can respect that one. FIFA, that one might actually just be up next, honestly. But it's like, at this point, I don't think EA Sports is at all prepared to go up against any sort of competition with their sports games. These things are so poorly built, it's going to be a complete and total breakdown. It's going to be a complete breakdown if they ever had to go up against any competition, especially with their NFL title. Football is football. Football fans want to play the best football game. And if 2K Games is going to produce the best football game, EA is screwed. I mean, honestly, the fans of Madden have basically had it. They're over it. They are just looking for a reason to just not play this game. If an indie football game came out tomorrow, I'm pretty sure all Madden fans would just switch over to that to at least try it out. Like, this community is done with EA's bullshit. So, and it's weird too, because, I mean, you can bash EA all you want, right? But that's such low-hanging fruit. I think what it comes down to now is EA is taking an approach that's basically unheard of. Like, with game developers, publishers, right, you want to be in tune with your audience. You want to have an understanding. You don't want to be divided. You don't want to hate each other. You want to have an understanding, and you want your community to like you, so then they'll buy your games. But with EA, it just seems like they've said, you know what, fuck this. We're not gonna try and appeal to our audience. We're just gonna do whatever the hell we want. And if that's copy-paste games, then they're just gonna do that. It's so weird to me. They are definitely in some hard times right now. They have it rough, but they got some balls, EA, if they're taking this approach at this time. So anyways, we're just gonna have to wait and see when that 2K NFL game comes out. If it does come out, we never know. These projects might get shelved, but Madden's got potentially some competition on the horizon. And from what I'm seeing, they ain't ready for it. They are not ready for it. This could be a complete this could just be the end of EA Sports, honestly. When you lose football, you lose basketball. Only major sporting title they really got is FIFA. No knock on hockey or UFC fans, but ain't nobody really playing those games. I'm gonna just be honest. Ain't nobody really talking about them games. So honestly, I want NBA Live to come back, but it just every time they do, it just feels like they haven't at all changed from their old ways. If EA wants to make a comeback, if EA wants to actually stand a chance against their competitors, or any competition for that matter, they're going to have to change up their strategy. Because what they've been doing is it's not working, and it's making them look really foolish. If you like what I had to say, or if you disagree, leave a like or dislike. Comment what you think. Do you think that an arcade 2K game is gonna blow Madden out of the water? Me personally, I don't think so. Because if it was if 2K is releasing a simulation NFL game, I think that has a better chance. But actual like arcade football it's a completely different ball game, no pun intended. So, anyways, don't forget to subscribe. And oh yeah, Twitch.tv, Myllers TV. I'm gonna probably be streaming some NBA 2K a bunch. I don't know when, so you're just gonna have to follow me and hope for the best, I guess, because I don't got no schedule. What can I say? So yeah, that's it for me. And yeah, take care.